All right, welcome. Today we're going to dive deep into a force that shapes our reality every single second, but we barely even notice it. I'm talking about sound. And, just as important, its other half, silence. We're going to explore how these vibrations can literally tune our bodies, our brains, and our entire state of being. And I want to kick things off with this quote because, wow, organized dragon breath. What a way to put it. It just perfectly captures this idea that sound isn't just noise, it's this powerful, primal force. And silence, it's not emptiness, it's an active, potent space, just full of answers. And that's really the core idea we're going to unpack together. And we're going to tackle this from two really fascinating angles. First, we'll look at the hard science, the actual physics and neurology of how vibration literally shapes matter and can alter our brainwaves. And then we'll connect that science to the timeless wisdom from contemplative traditions that have, known about this power for thousands of years. It's kind of where the lab meets the monastery. So let's start by grounding all this in our own bodies. Because sound isn't just something you hear with your ears. No, it's something you experience with every single cell. So how does sound affect our biology so directly? Well, think about this. Your body is about 70% water, and water is an amazing conductor of vibration. It's exactly why you can feel the bass in your chest at a concert, right? It's not just your ears hearing it. Your entire body is a giant receptor, just vibrating along with the sound waves moving right through you. Okay, now this is where it gets really mind-bending. If sound is vibrating through all the water in your body, what is it actually doing in there? Well, there's a field of study called cymatics that gives us a pretty stunning visual answer. It's basically the study of visible sound, and it shows how vibration literally organizes matter into form. The experiment is so simple but so profound. You just sprinkle some sand on a metal plate, and then you play a pure tone through it, and instantly, that random pile of sand arranges itself into this beautiful, complex geometric pattern. It's incredible, and it illustrates this crucial point. Sound creates structure. So if a single frequency can do that to sand, just imagine what the sounds in your environment are doing to the water inside your 70 trillion cells. So from the cells of the body, let's move on up to the command center, the brain. Because just as sound can organize matter, it can also organize your mind, directly shifting you from one state of consciousness to another. See? Your brain operates on electricity, and it produces these waves at different frequencies that line up with different mental states. You've felt all of these. Delta is that deep, restorative, knockout sleep. Beta is your normal, focused, problem-solving mind. And then there's alpha, that calm, focused state. Like when you're lightly meditating or just totally in the zone. We're shifting between these states all day long. So how does sound get in on the action? Well, it's through a process called brain wave entrainment. This is a fundamental property of your brain. It has this natural tendency to sync up its own internal rhythm to a dominant external rhythm. It's like when you start tapping your foot to a song without even thinking about it. Your brain does the same thing with sound. A perfect example of this in action is binaural beats. Here's how it works. It's so clever. You play two slightly different frequencies in each ear using headphones. Your brain can't quite resolve the two separate sounds, so it creates a third, phantom beat at the frequency of the difference between them. In this case, 10 hertz. And where does 10 hertz fall? Right in the middle of that calm, focused alpha state. So your brain hears this pulse, it syncs up, and voila, you're guided right into that relaxed, focused state. We've talked a lot about the power of sound, but now let's turn to its equally powerful counterpart, silence. What happens when we intentionally remove sound? Really think about it. Our world is just a constant barrage of noise. You've got traffic, notifications, background music. We're so used to it, we might not even notice it anymore. So what happens to our brain and our nervous system when we just take all of that away? Well, the answer is absolutely fascinating. Turns out silence is an active, restorative state for the brain. It kicks on something called the default mode network, which is crucial for self-reflection and creativity, and it lets your brain process information and lock in memories. But here's the most incredible part. Studies have actually found that just 2 hours of silence a day can stimulate neurogenesis. That's the growth of brand new brain cells in your memory center. So silence doesn't just rest your brain. It literally helps grow it. This quote just reframes the whole concept perfectly. Silence isn't the opposite of sound. It's the foundation for it. It's like the canvas that allows a painting to even exist. Without this space of silence, sound is just chaos. So when we experience true silence,
We're actually experiencing the ground of being from which everything else arises.
Okay, so we've covered the amazing science of sound and the deep wisdom of silence. Now, let's get practical. How can you actually use all this information to consciously shape your own state of being? Let's build your sonic toolkit. First up, let's talk about the different colors of noise. You've probably heard of white noise, right? It's like TV static, and it's great for masking distracting sounds so you can focus. But then there's pink noise, which sounds more like a steady rain, and research shows it can improve deep sleep. And brown noise is even deeper, like a rumbling waterfall, which is just incredibly grounding and calming. You can actually use these intentionally to create the exact sonic environment you need. All right, now for an active tool. The simple act of chanting Om isn't just some ancient ritual. It's an ancient technology with modern scientific backing. When you create that ooh sound, the vibration in your chest and throat directly stimulates something called the vagus nerve. This nerve is basically the master control switch for your body's relaxation response. So, by chanting, you are literally physically telling your nervous system, hey, it's time to calm down. It's a direct hack into your own biology.
So, if there's one key takeaway from all this, it's this. Stop thinking of sound as something that just happens to you. With this knowledge, you can shift from being a passive listener to being an active curator of your own sonic environment. You have the power to choose what you listen to and to create the sounds that bring your own system back into balance.
And that brings us to this final beautiful synthesis. Think of yourself as an instrument, a whole symphony of different frequencies. When you're stressed or anxious or sick, you're out of tune. But harmonious external sounds like calming music or a chant or just the quiet of nature can help your internal symphony come back into tune. It's the principle of resonance applied directly to your own well-being. So we'll leave you with this one last thought to ponder. From the hum of the Big Bang to the vibration of your own cells, the universe is really just one grand composition, and you are an inseparable part of that music. And with the tools of sound and silence, you actually have the power to consciously choose the song you contribute. So the question is, what will it be?